Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy Boogie, Ogoon, aka him, Himothy, Hemferny, Hymnology, him who doesn't hide, him who seeks, him with the shortest arms, him still with the longest reach. We in here. And this is the first episode of Bonding with Boogie with a Precious Perspective. And as I say that, I introduce the one with the perspective. Tell them who you are.
Yo, it's your boy Precious here from Precious Guys, man. Shout out to the platform, man. We finna be bonding with Boogie. We got a lot of stuff planned for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Just in mind in regards to opening y'all up to, I know y'all heard a few of the bars that my boy just dropped. So we got a lot for y'all in store in regards to just poetry and writing and literature. We just want to open y'all minds up, and like he say, I'm gonna be dropping a precious perspective, just a little bit of insight to give y'all something to think about in that regard. So in that space, like, just give them what you feeling for this journey we finna take them on, Boogie. Like, how you think?
Man,
Where
it's
you
the
think we
it's the
finna
it's
go?
the it's the journey is the beginning, letting people know why we do this, figuring out why other people do this, because of course we'll have guests onto the show.
Facts.
And I appreciate you for being here
Sure.
for the motivation, for the inspiration. And I feel like we start the show, the first episode, as far as telling the people what poetry is to us, the significance of it, the history of it, or the history of it to us as far as what we know it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And why we do it. I feel like that's how we should open up, and how we should roll out the red carpet.
Facts. So with that, I'm gonna ask you, like, when was your first time, like, coming into poetry? Like, when did you know, like, hey, I can do this, so I want to do this?
And I hate to say it make your vocabulary seem so short, but because
This your show, and you do what you want.
I'm a nigga. But honestly, music in general I've always been big on music, lyrics, the sound of things, the rhythm of things. So I've always been, before poetry, I wanted to call myself I would say I was a rapper.
Facts.
And as you know, I've been in talent shows rapping.
Yeah,
I was
shit,
I used to
yeah.
write bars as a rapper. I didn't
Battles?
battles, rap battles. In real life,
me.
8 Mile.
On me.
Shout out Brianna Hart.
On me.
Real
That's a
life 8
fact.
Mile shit. Quincy
That's a
Jetter,
fact. That's
my
a
people.
fact.
Real life battles. You know what I'm
That's a
saying? So
fact.
I would say I started off as a rapper. And I really don't know what made it form into poetry. Like, I heard the word poetry before, but I don't know what made me a poet, though. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, it was the freestyle battles, it was the freestyle, and it was the writing shit down. But I don't actually know where that transferred or how that converted to poetry. I honestly don't remember or don't know. But I figured, like, boom, that's me. That's, you know what I'm saying? So I remember, like, when I knew I was good at it, though, when I knew it was a natural thing and I knew I was good at writing, I was in a 6th grade, Mr. Pryor's class, 6th grade.
Facts.
And I forgot, we had to write a poem about something. And I forgot exactly what it was, but I remember it being so dope that he went and got Miss Laws, the principal.
Oh, me.
It was like, he needs to spit that over the intercom. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
Facts.
You know,
I
I'm
damn
not
near
lying.
remember that shit.
I'm not
Oh, me.
lying.
I
As a
remember
young
that.
man,
As
as
a
a young
shorty,
man,
yeah.
I'm not lying. Then boom, we skip through the 7th grade and we go to the 8th grade to Miss Kinsey class, and we had to write. This is our 8th grade. We going into high school. We had to write a poem about what we learned in 8th grade. And I did that motherfucker. I'm talking about like real life. I don't think how people thought. And we went to a Catholic school. So I don't people didn't think I was gonna do what I did to that motherfucker. I mixed religion in that bitch, mixed with the Constitution that I failed the first time.
And that's what I was gonna say. But niggas who don't know, my boy's not even like with the academics, and that's not no shade or saying that he not no smart nigga. But the school shit is just like fuck. So for a nigga to be able to write a poem about a whole curriculum that
I was like, supposed to be learning, halfway learning, you know what I'm saying? Really didn't give a fuck about that shit.
Me, that's.
But I can't say that you didn't teach us this
exactly.
And I think it was more so, and so she pulled me to the intercom. He has to spit this over the intercom right now. He
let other people learn.
And I felt like it was a ups for her as far as I feel like I made her feel good. Like, damn, this nigga got average grades, but he managed to put a poem together about what I taught him, because I don't think he learned half of this shit. But I taught him, and he remember it enough to say it. He know what some other niggas that learned to hear. But you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's and I guess I appreciate the platform, FC Network. I appreciate Terry. I appreciate the whole crew as far as inspiration. Y'all gave me a reason to open up and remember that that's the type of nigga I was at a young age.
Tap in.
At a young age. But I think I fell in love with poetry for real. Kanye's first album.
Facts.
The song with Jay-Z, when it comes to being truly
boy, he just do. I can't. Ivy, what is his name? Jay Ivy. Who said that poem?
Yeah,
he just won a Grammy for a poetry album.
Yeah, he went bananas
for sure
on that shit.
That's a fact.
He went bananas on that shit.
That's a fact.
My spirit's a part of this. That's why I get lyrical. But I get my hymns from him, and it's not me. It's he. He really like had me in awe. Like damn. Like, and I think to move along. I think that's what really made me like, as far as me doing it on my own and doing it myself. Cool fact. But I think that's when until this day. Before I go and do a show, or before I go and do like just open mic, or before, that's something I go back to. I go back and I listen to that album for 2 songs. I listened to it for that song that we just named, and I listened to it for the other song with Talib Kweli. I'm trying to catch the beat for Common. Because Common came at the end and was real life spitting, like you real life had to listen. He was real life.
It was
bar. He was bar. You know what I'm saying? He was, and Common is a poet type, rap, most def type nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like that's around the time where like I think Kanye helped me fall in love with it. But even before that, I was already writing. I already wanted to be.
My fault, G. It's crazy. Like I feel like going into it, you missing like somebody. And that's our OG, bro. I feel like mommy damn near always had some type of little
for sure,
rhyme or rhythm.
Let's talk about our mom. And if y'all don't know, me and my co-hosts are brothers.
For sure.
Blood brothers. Same mom. Same mom, different dad, but same dad. His dad is my dad. My dad is his dad. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like same mom, different dad. So if I'm lying, I'm dying. My OG, I appreciate her for this until this day. She used to, over the summer, she was, the last thing my mother was for was dumb kids. Meaning like she did not want to grow old and say she failed at trying to teach a nigga something or learn a nigga something. So the summertime was cool for us, but it was probably different from other niggas' summer. It wasn't playing a video game all night, waking up playing a video game, going to sleep playing a video game, watching TV, wrestling, whatever you were doing, going outside. It was none of that. During the week, it was chores and it was homework. It might have been some multiplication, but on the poetry, where it gets into the poetry side, she used to find words in a dictionary and write them down. And by the end of the week, we had to know how to spell them. know the meaning, and know how to use it in a sentence. And at the time I hated it because like what the fuck? It's the summer.
It's summer, B.
It's
what
the
we
summertime.
doing?
You know what I'm saying? Like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it turned out to be a gift. You know what I'm saying? Not even a gift, because if your parenting was parenting right then, it ain't even, it's just how much or what your parents wanted for you. But I was always a great reader. I was always a great speller. I could pronunciate words. I knew how to use full sentences, and it's because of that. We couldn't go outside. Friday, my cousin Miko, RIP my cousin Nancy, that was our getaway for the weekend.
That's a fact.
And before we can go on our getaway on Friday, because it would be Friday, before we get dropped off, we would have to know those words, how to spell them, how to pronunciate them, the definition, how to use them in a sentence, and whatever household chores needed to be done.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
And I feel like that, like, I think for me going into like poetry historically, like looking at her and like you said, those times and us, like I think that's why I grew my affinity for words. Like that's why I just like to know words. Like I tell motherfucker to this day, like my favorite 2 apps on my phone is the weather app and the dictionary app. Like I just fuck with it. And I think it's because it allowed like communication and being able to verbally express yourself is big. For sure. And you can't I tell people all the time, it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. You know what I'm saying? How you present yourself in that manner. And I think that for mommy, she was always, like I say, she was always making a little song, making little jokes, whatever the case may be. And then coming up under you, seeing you do the rapping and seeing you write and having journals and all that different type of stuff, I think that's where I kind of picked up in a space of where it's like, I bet I enjoy writing. I don't think that the poetry for me kicked in until later in life. I feel like, so I was, you was like the rap music listener. I was a real R&B ass nigga as a shorty, you know what I'm saying? Like I was damn near on me, the confessions and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
you were into that shit.
For sure, fuck, like it's a thing where it's, in that way, I think I started to like introduce myself into poetry on a more like smoother side. You know what I'm saying? On the side where it's like, I bet, like I don't really want to rap or even like as a shorty, right? Like I used to have that bad habit of like thinking like, oh man, when you write poetry, that shit gotta rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes it's dope when it do, because you used to hearing people like go off of certain cadences, you know what I'm saying, and different rhythms that they catch type shit. But now I find that, like you said, when you have a vocabulary where you can just use descriptive words to tell a story, because going back into it for me on the music tip, I felt like Slick Rick. You remember my pops used to have the greatest hits albums and all that different type of shit.
Everybody.
And I remember being in 5th grade.
We need to give him more credit too.
On me, facts.
We need to give him more credit too.
Facts. I feel like listening to Slick Rick on them mornings to school, you know what I'm saying? In 5th, 6th grade or 4th, 5th. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like listening to how their styles was, it was definitely rap, but I feel like it was more of that story. And so
it was spoken word.
On me.
It's when poetry was going from, that's where it was going from. It was going from
spoken word to
rap beat, put a beat behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it was going. Because when you get, it was a lot of cat in the hat shit.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But when they dropped that beat on that bitch, it was like,
talking about this nigga's going crazy.
Of rock. Yeah. There is nothing higher. Facts. Like that shit, hey.
Hard.
Hey, hard. LL, Run DMC, Easy E and them niggas was hard.
So I'm gonna ask you this. Like, how do you think poetry, like, even in taking in some of your pieces, for example, as well as the ones that you've been inspired by, whether it be in a form of rap or actual poems, how do you think your poetry or others is impacted or influenced how we live and how we do?
Um, Poetry is one of, and I heard somebody else say this, and when I heard him say it, I feel it because I do it, but I didn't feel it more until somebody else said it. They said that poetry is some of the most powerful expression to let out. Like it's some of the most powerful.
Facts.
Like when you hear a person spit poetry, whether it's smooth poetry, how you call it, or whether it's kind of more like on the aggressive side, how I am, like spoken word. Let's not even call it poetry.
Facts. Hey, go crazy.
Spoken word is probably one of the most powerful things that you can hear. You know what I'm saying? So when to me, I'm more of a rhyme poetry type of dude.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But
and you're
like
great
you
at
said,
it, by the way.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And that's more like how you said as far as me rapping. And you know, even though you grow older now, rap don't even have to rhyme. It does to the full extent, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I started off as a rapper technically, you know what I'm saying? And worked my way into spoken word. So my spoken word sound like maybe a cappella rap. But to me, it's spoken word.
And it is though.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
go ahead.
But so, like I said, with that's one thing I want to get into is changing my style up. You know,
Facts.
You know, like how I got him, I got Monster. That's aggressive. You know what I'm saying? That's who I am. But I want to be able to maybe do pieces that aren't so rhymey. You know what I'm saying? Aren't so much rhyming. Just some smooth shit. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that, but it's crazy, right? So like, I think what really in this adult phase, cause like I say, it was really you, mommy, music, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that inspired my writing as a shorty. And then like as I've gotten older though, going to these different open mics and things of that nature, like exactly what you just said. Like spoken word is one of those things that like what you can say, you like I say, it's not what you say, is how you say it. And somebody can say something that resonates with you so much that it's like, damn, this person talking directly to and or about me. But more than likely, they writing it like Monster or him. Like it's so many niggas that feel like they him. You know what I'm saying? And so when you deliver pieces like that, I think that that's the resonance, so to speak, in regards to you ain't gotta know me. I ain't never had to met you, but you saying these words right now,
you don't know how I'm feeling. You feeling how I'm feeling.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like that connection is like, damn, this is undeniable. You know what I'm saying? I didn't been, it's a woman that, like you say, we gonna try to, we not even try, we gonna have a bunch of different artists. This woman, K-Love, I remember walking into one of her sets random. She was at a restaurant. This was like maybe 2018. And when I say floored me, like had me in there and all looking at this woman like, damn, she's going crazy. Like, and it was all due to not even necessarily, it was aggressive, but I think it was her presentation as well. And it was how she flowed through. Because I know for me personally, a lot of times where I want to get better with my spoken word is that aspect of memorization. But it's crazy on some whole other shit. I was talking to my granny earlier, and she's like, she was telling me about this video that she saw that I did for another promo. And she's like, yeah, I think you need to stop thinking here as in your head and think in your heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck, Granny? Like, think in my heart. Like, that's what my brain for thinking. But I felt what she was saying in regards to when you come in from the heart, and I think a lot of times
it ain't too much to think about.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're not thinking.
Yeah.
You're it's flowing through you. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to think about. So, and that's why I don't, and this is when it comes to writing poetry, I could probably freestyle some poetry better than I could write some poetry and remember it.
Facts.
Because I hate remembering. Because when I'm writing it, I'm in the mood at that time. It's coming from my heart at the time. It's just
so
on my
natural.
head it's natural at the time. So me remember it is so unnatural.
Facts.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel that.
I would rather you give me a topic right now, and I'll try my hardest to go off top, make it to do my rhyme scheme how I do and make it mean something. You know what I'm saying? But that shit that's off top through the heart and you write down, that shit means something. You know what I'm saying? So that I know exactly what she meant by that. Like you think it's so, and that's why it's hard trying to, and that's why I've kept poetry kind of short. Like I respect the people that go up there and give 3 to 4 minute, 5-minute poems. Like I be so in awe because I be like, damn, I can't remember that.
Facts.
And you ever had to have you thinking like, hey, he ain't write that shit. No, this is my shit. But I wrote this shit to write it, perform it once or twice. I didn't write this shit down to remember this shit forever. And that's how, but that's at the same time, though, that's how I ended up Monster, him. That's how I ended up learning them by heart because I wrote them down, I learned them, and I did them so much that I remember them.
And so I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna speak on insecurity, right? That you kind of instilled, and you didn't like. This is not no shit that you did intentionally. Freestyling, bro.
Okay.
For me, that shit just seemed like it'd be so many words in my mind that I don't even know like the ones to pick or to say. So I can never like come up off top of motherfuckers. And I done been in spaces and rooms where niggas like know I write and know. And when it's like cypher time, I'll be like, I'll pass on that shit. Like, just so I'ma ask, like, in the form of whether it be freestyle rap, freestyle poetry, how do you focus in on, because I've heard you go off top, like, and been in spaces with you, go damn near 3 minutes, which to motherfuckers it'd be like 3 minutes ain't long, but when you're literally just coming up with shit off, like, out of nowhere, you're just pulling shit out the air, that shit's difficult. So with that being said, like, how do you manage to, like, focus in that space?
Obviously, once again, shout out to moms. It's vocabulary for sure. It's confidence.
Okay.
It's doing it even if the shit you might say may not make sense nor rhyme.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like when you niggas like us, you got vocabulary. So even if it rhyme but don't make sense, just keep going.
Facts.
It's about the confidence that you got with that's what you freestyling for.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's not to make the most sense. It's not to make the most rhythm. It's not to make, but it's for you. You know what I'm saying? So like when you got it, you got it.
Facts.
And if you don't, you don't.
Facts.
And you could try as hard as you want, and you might try and be almost all right at it. But when you got it, you got it. And it's a mind thing. Like, your mind gonna lead you while you letting the words out. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is leading you. The words are coming, and you putting them, throwing them joints together, and it's just, hey, freestyling is and I haven't done it in a while, and I feel like I've lost it slightly. You know what I'm saying? But
so you think it's something that you have to like practice?
For
like,
sure.
You got to sharpen it type
when
shit?
I was in Decatur, Illinois, before Decatur, Illinois, when I was with Josh and them on 99th and Low, you can ask them. They see my poetry and stuff now. They be like, that's them 99th. And we used to be in the crib. That's when the instrumentals was hot. We used to be in that bitch going bar for bar. We used to be in that bitch. No notepad, we could have made a mixtape at the time. And that's how much of Dan. I went to Decatur. Me, Daytona, Juice, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we was doing. And I've always been and like I said, it's always something that's just been in me, bro. Like I wasn't trying to be the coldest nigga in the session, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the niggas that I was with in the session, I was the coldest nigga in the session. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, it's been and I'm disappointed in myself for not appreciating it sooner. You know what I'm saying? It was so natural to me that it was unappreciated.
I mean, you kind of take it for granted.
It was taken for granted. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm thankful for the FC Network family, and even thankful for the people that saw it back then. The 8th grade teacher, the 6th grade teacher, the mommy, you, whoever saw it back then. I appreciate y'all for seeing it back then, and now I'm putting it to use. It took some time, but shit comes when it comes. The sun and the moon rotate how it rotate. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel like I like what you said though, and a lot of people will like let that go over your head, and don't let that go over your head. Spoken word in general, I think, is about confidence.
Yeah.
It's about your ability to articulate and create that connection with the next person and or people in order for them to feel you, because you got to understand. So like for me, I really like on some primal shit, right? Like I appreciate animals. And the only like my main reason for doing so is because I feel like they raw as hell. They walk through this world every day without having to say a word to each other. They just exist in a space where it's like, yeah, you got cows mooing and dogs barking and shit. But as far as speaking and communicate language, like they don't have that. They just exist. And so it'd be fucked up to me that as people, we have language, but we still manage to miscommunicate. I feel like miscommunication is still like the top reasoning behind any type of like fuck up or any type of, is because a person didn't properly articulate themselves in a way that somebody else could receive it. You know what I'm saying? So in saying that piece about just the confidence that you have and that you kind of build in a space of sharing your words, so to speak, I think that's key. I think that's very vital, so that again, like not even just from poetic aspect.
Yeah, spoken word is everything. Spoken word is you give it up, giving a speech and having a confidence in yourself. Some speech is spoken word. You speaking your word, and it could be when Obama used to be up there, people used to swear he was giving the greatest. You know what I'm saying? He was giving the greatest speech. Like it ain't got to be just poetry. It ain't got to be rap. It ain't got to be. If it's you making a stand for whatever you standing on, whatever business you standing on, whatever you want to push, whatever you want to. That's spoken word. It's just not all about preachers, pastors. That's, you know what I'm saying? To make a person feel you, to control a room off your words and verbs and your sentences and your pronunciation of your vernacular. That is spoken word. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to look good, sound good. It's about how you make people in tune, you know what I'm saying, with what you saying, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, and that's probably for a whole nother segment of, you know what I'm saying, like spoken word. But spoken word is like, it's the most powerful thing. Like it's the most powerful words. You know what I'm saying? Like the most powerful, like it's
again, like you said, that connection, like being able to share it in a space where, again, like you can say something that you woke up feeling and didn't think about nobody else. But when you say it, like, again, it's crazy. Facebook and all these different type of things, right? Like, yeah, it's not necessarily spoken word, whatever, but we share, you know what I'm saying, our thoughts. And so a lot of times your thoughts transform into spoken word. And you see how many shares and posts and likes,
you get them shares. Motherfucker was feeling what you was kicking.
Oh, me.
They read it. They might have not have heard it in your voice or read it in your voice, but they read it. And they said it in their voice or said it in their mind, and I really feel what the fuck he talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is dope, what he's talking about. So, yeah, like, I don't know, spoken word is a powerful thing.
And so do you think that it's always been, I know you said, like, you've kind of been natural in that space, but have you kind of, because I think a lot of times people see spoken word artists in a way of like people that stand up and people that aren't necessarily afraid to kind of push the envelope, like you said, going into that space of confidence. Which do you think came first? Do you think that you just always had that confidence to speak your word, or did spoken word give you confidence?
It was always confidence.
Facts.
It was always confidence. Because I speak my word to anybody.
Facts.
You, him, them, my boss at work. If I got some shit I need to say it. And I feel like once I spoke what I needed to speak, I feel better about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's something that I need to speak on, I have to let that shit out to feel good. Times I may hesitate. Times I may not speak it out of your sake. Out because I don't want to. I know how much I can fuck up with you, or I don't want to hurt feelings, or I don't want to mislead, or I don't want to. But for the most part, I don't have a problem. The confidence is in me to, if you tweaking with me, I'm going to speak on it. If I don't like some shit you doing, I'm going to speak on it. If I'm in the wrong and I feel like I'm bogus, I'm going to hit you up and I'm going to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what it is, I don't mind speaking on it. I'm a spoken word nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you come to me with something, I'll speak on it unless I just really don't feel like it. But for the most part, and if I really don't feel like it, it's a reason why, meaning I'm sparing you. You know what I'm saying? Or sparing myself. Because I know once I open up and I get too spoken, this shit gonna open up a whole different can of some other shit. You know what I'm saying? So you hesitate with your spoken words at time because you don't know the effect that it may have on somebody else. Everybody ain't gonna be able to take your word how other, like me and you can have.
Yeah, conversations.
You know what I'm
shit,
saying?
yeah.
Like, we can have conversations. You could tell me how you really feel. I could tell you how I really feel. Real Duncan, he could tell me how he really feel. I could tell him how I really feel. Some niggas ain't
built like that.
Built like where you could tell them how you really feel. And some niggas ain't built to where you could, I could be a nigga that, like, you know what I'm saying? Motherfucker tell me how they really feel. I could be a nigga like, oh my God, how do you really feel that way?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't control how the fuck you feel. Everybody don't have the same heart and mind as you.
Facts.
So once you understand that and realize that, you'll become less judgmental and more acceptive of the shit people say, the shit people do, the way people think.
You don't hold on to shit.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you realize that people don't think like you, people was brought up differently from you, people were raised differently, people got different values or different, you know what I'm saying? Like, you become less judgmental. You become more, I know that person. I know how he came up. I can't even expect him to feel how I feel or think how I think or be how I be. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, but that's what spoken word come into play. Communication, like you said, communication is key. And it took me a long time to learn that. But once I did learn that, it's a golden. And even, yeah, like I say, even if you communicating to a person and they don't like what you communicating, as long as you know you communicated and you got that off your chest, you might not even care how that person felt because I said what I needed to say. I spoke my word. And
so, I'm gonna ask you this: how much of, because a lot of times I think people kind of associate poetry in a space of like, unless you coming off aggressively on like almost borderline that rap shit, like spoken word is kind of placed in like this kind of smooth jazz genre. And I think a lot of people don't get into it because, in my opinion, and I'm asking this question, how much of spoken word is feeling versus fact? You know what I'm saying? How much of spoken word for you is things that you experience, you let come in, and then you express it versus something that maybe you know?
With me, most of my poetry is off me. You know what I'm saying? Off what I went through, what I've been through. And even when I'm writing it, I know for a fact other people have been through the same shit. Right. So it's for everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's for sure for me. it's for sure more feeling because I know I felt it. I got homies that have felt it. I got chicks who have felt it. I know my mama that felt it. I know people that felt the shit that I be spitting because I feel like I try to spit shit that people can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all and that's I guess it's real rappers and it's fake rappers. And let's go back to the rap shit. My poetry is a reflection of me. Everything that I spit, monster, him, that's how I feel about myself. That's who I am. That's who, if other people don't even see me that way, I know how I see myself when I look the shit that I done did, the things that I've witnessed, the things that I've lived through, the things that I've that's what it is for me. You know what I'm saying? So I try to make shit that's relatable to people when it come to spoken word. Like I want people to feel that shit for real, you know?
I get it. And I ain't gonna even lie. Like sometimes I think I don't even want to call it fucking up because it's never a fuck up. I feel like I always like get my point across, but I think it's just that, right? Like sometimes I get caught up in not being relative or relatable. And I am just kind of talking about, I think, things that maybe a nigga like me would care about. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where I'm trying to like kind of branch out in that space of
you
like
already branched out though, meaning like you a nigga, I'm a nigga, I'm a man, you a man. Just because I'm a man and it's a certain amount of men or men following what I say, it don't mean that it's not
facts,
men hearing, you know what I'm saying?
facts.
That just because you feel it's different, just because you could be talking about the moon, the stars, and the sun and think you the only nigga thinking about that.
Facts.
It's another nigga out here thinking about the moon, suns, and the stars. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
so you can never think
It's
that
always
you.
relative.
It's always.
Basically.
It's always.
Okay,
it always
make
means something to
good.
somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That shit is, like I said, you not the only person that been through what you've been through. What they tell you, the old people always say, everything come back around. And you don't think you done did nothing that ain't been done already. You know what I'm saying? So don't think you didn't thought the only thoughts that you didn't thought. Don't think you done been the only person to feel the way you feel. Don't think if you like squirrels and rabbits that you the only nigga that like squirrels and rabbits. Okay. It's somebody out here that might make a poem about squirrels and rabbits because they like squirrels and rabbits that much too. You know what I'm saying? I received that. It's a lot of minds and a lot of places out here in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, hey.
I feel that, man. So, on that note, like you want to close us out? How you want to do it? You want to keep going with?
Nah, we could close out.
Give them preview of just like you say. What's
to come. Like I said, this is season 1 of Bonding with Boogie with the Precious Perspective. We're looking for all poets, all artists, all. If you're not a poet but dig poetry and you just want to come up here and let us know what you shoveled up.
Me.
Come holler at us. We want to know how you feel about it. We want to know why you do it. We want to know why you listen. We want to know why it inspired you. Like I said, because spoken word is powerful. Spoken word is beautiful. Spoken word is spoken word, meaning you can reach a lot of people. You can reach a lot of hearts, a lot of minds. And once again, we will forever be saying thank you to the family, FC Network, the Terry Rosen podcast, Joy Provocative podcast, Real Duncan just started something new, Defa Designer podcast, and now we're here. We got TJ with Her Nut Matters. You know what I'm saying? So the family comes first, and we just want to thank everybody that's been supporting. And once again, this is Bonding with Boogie with the Precious Perspective. You can find me on Instagram at B00, so B and 2 O's, GIE _ Ogun, OGUN _ so Boogie _ Ogun _ and Precious, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on IG, Precious Gods, Gods with a Z, PRECIOUSGODZ. Like my boy Boogie Ogoon said, we're here for those who want to come out and share their their perspective in the space of creative writing, in the space of literature, in the space of just speaking word to life, because that's really what it always boils down to. Like he said, communication is one of those golden nuggets that once you master it in a space of uh proper execution and speaking certain languages, we think about the English language, Spanish, slang, all that different type of stuff. Once you start speaking to a person in a space where they fully understand you and you got their attention, that's really, hey, it's what you do with it at that point. Attention is a form of currency. And so with that being said, if you got that attention and you can, do something with it, you one step closer to being a successful spoken word artist in that space of expression. So we looking forward to what we got for y'all this in this upcoming space. So with that, we gonna catch y'all next time.
We out.